This chapter is about how government policy has to adapt and very quickly in order to offset these various crises on the horizon. Now, in the previous chapter, we saw how central bank printing, such as Federal Reserve quantitative easing, is done in very narrowly concentrated assets, which boosts them and causes market distortions. A lot of this money does not reach the average people, and there is some um, social unrest about this unfair distribution of Federal Reserve money. Secondly, a concentration of monetary expansion into real estate has reached the end of its efficacy, and this, combined with other factors described in the previous chapter, will lead to a very severe financial crisis in about 2017, maybe just 1 year from now at the time of this recording. And this can be avoided if some of the recommendations in this paper are implemented, but there's very little time in which to act. But what would some of these recommendations look like? Here's the thing. If we come to accept that central bank QE is worldwide in scope, what is done in one country spills over into another and so on, so there has to be worldwide coordination, that because technology causes deflation across the economy, this central bank QE is just offsetting that. And since technology is accelerating, so is this deflation, and therefore so must the central bank QE be ever exponentially rising on an accelerating basis. If we can do that and accept that, then we know that all of these various problems can be solved in one fell swoop. So if this QE is to be permanent, and we also have recognized that 75% of all government spending is just a transfer between individuals, why not just turn all the central bank money creation into a stipend given directly to people, which then, in turn, starts offsetting every other government program that it's itself a redistribution. Start the stipend very small. Just $100 a month for every US citizen over the age of 18, effectively matching whoever has voting rights receive the stipend, with the exception that a felony conviction does not make you lose your stipend, even though it makes you lose your voting rights. So start at just $100 in the first month, and the reason to start small is because there'll be a major blast of velocity of money just from the initiation of this program. But in the second month, you could double that to 200, and the third month, double it to 400. From that point, then it can rise at a much slower rate, but through my proprietary research, I think that as of 2016, the amount that is needed just to offset deflation is $5,000 per year per voter. 220 million such voters exist in the United States and abroad. So 5,000 for each of those 220 million people. This will not cause inflation, even though the initial reaction from conventional economic thought will be, oh, this will cause a lot of inflation. We have clearly seen that it will not, just based on the 16 trillion of monetary expansion that has already been done worldwide to date, and still rising at over $220 billion a month as we speak. Secondly, this universal stipend can rise at a rate that will fall within the range of 16 to 24% a year. The monthly increase will be calculated based on inflation metrics such as the MIT Billion Prices Project and so on, and will be somewhere between 1 and 2% a month, on average 1.5% or so. So the annual increase will be 16 to 24%, rarely above or below, and that's just an estimation. The continuous feedback cycle of this monetary easing will produce more technology, which causes more deflation, which requires more of a stipend. And in the chapter, you'll see how these interlinkages are connected. Now, as the stipend becomes established, it can replace other distribution programs that the government manages. such as Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, welfare, food stamps, unemployment compensation, and even other programs designed to distribute between one person and another, such as alimony, child support, so on and so forth. All of these can be replaced with a stipend. And the stipend goes to everyone, whether you're rich or poor, young or old, male or female, industrious or lazy, whether you were born in the US your whole life or just became a citizen last year. Everyone gets the same amount. The bureaucratic simplicity of that is so good that there'll be a tremendous saving in the simplicity generated therein, slimming down of government bureaucracies and so on. And as this transition is occurring, we can gradually phase out all income tax as well. This not only saves a lot of money for people, but it removes the whole filing burden. Remember, taxation is not only about the amount that you pay, but it's also about how tedious it is to file all the necessary paperwork and calculate all your taxes and deal with the tax complexity it does. So this is ambitious and a lot to take in, so I would encourage you to read this chapter and see how elegant the solution is of replacing most government spending and all taxation with monetary easing in the form of a universal stipend to all US citizens over the age of 18. Thank you very much.